All right, this is week 3 of The Artist's Way. This chapter is called Recovering a Sense of Power. I also changed my hair. So there's several new things going on here. There's a new backdrop. I have new hair. Never had teal and purple combo before, so I'm having fun with it. And I also got my hair cut, and I got a fun little undercut going on back here. Yeah, it's nice to kind of change it up for springtime. I'm really into it. Oh, this is also my first time filming at night. It's really strange for me. I normally really enjoy the natural light during the day. I think that it makes the videos look a little bit better. But I wasn't able to film during the day, so here I am making the most of my situation. So if you're new here and haven't been watching my previous videos, I've been filming my experience with the Artist's Way course. I am currently on, or I just finished week 3, where I kind of go over the week and the course load and what I learned and just my experience through it and reflections and whatnot. So in this week 3, Recovering a Sense of Power, the author goes over anger and shame. Anger is a sign of health when you're going through a creative recovery as a blocked artist. Anger can actually be a really useful tool to redirect that energy to move you forward to where you want to go. It can show you where you want to go and make the necessary changes in life. Anger is our friend. Not a nice friend, not a gentle friend, but a very, very loyal friend. It will always tell us when we have been betrayed. It will always tell us when we have betrayed ourselves. It will always tell us that it is time to act in our own best interests. So I do have my own experience with this before, using anger as a useful way to get out of a situation that you're really not happy in. So about 3 years ago, I was working as a receptionist for a small business, and I liked the place, I liked the people, but I didn't really feel like a receptionist was the right job for me. I think I've already mentioned this before, but I'm extremely introverted. Being a receptionist, you have to be, very talkative, you have a very loud personality. You're dealing with people constantly on the phone and in person, and very exhausting job. So yeah, I was really unhappy there, but I didn't know where I wanted to go. So I just kind of stuck with it. After working, I would come home and just that frustration and anger in me, I redirected it into my art. This was a time when I was doing a lot of art and I was just pouring everything into that. Not even just anger helping me, but it was a very traumatic time in my life, and I was also undergoing healing and in therapy at the time. So I used kind of my art as therapy to, process how I was feeling and turning my pain into something worthwhile. Eventually I did leave that job, and I found the job that I have right now, which is working at a fabric and yarn store, a local one, not a giant. So this new job just kind of fell into my lap. It was kind of crazy how it happened. It was just such a perfect fit for me, and I felt like I was meant to be there. All right, let's get into shame. Not exactly a happy topic. Artists who struggle with fear of action usually have unresolved issues of shame. Artists may abandon their work before its completion with the notion of what's the point or it doesn't matter. This is a coping technique to avoid pain and vulnerability. Attempting to make art creates shame within ourselves and also just anticipation of others shaming us. I have definitely been guilty of abandoning my work before it's finished. And I think most other artists relate to this. You don't have to show that art to anyone once it's finished. If you decide that you don't want to show it, you don't want to sell it. It can just be for you. And you know, sometimes you just have to let a piece of art kind of flow through you and just manifest and just kind of go on from there. You don't have to necessarily do anything with it. Sometimes you just gotta let that creativity out of you so that you can just move past it. As artists, we learn to be very self-protective. As artists, I think we're all highly sensitive beings. Learning where and when to seek out criticism, figuring out when criticism is appropriate and from who. Sometimes it takes a fellow artist to see the potential in early stages of art when it really doesn't look that pretty or refined. Obviously, we can't control every little bit of criticism that is thrown our way. You know, there will always be people, you know, who give unsolicited advice or opinions when it's really not warranted. What we do have control over is nurturing our artist child in times of, you know, receiving painful criticism and opinions. The only thing that can be done when abusive criticism is thrown your way is to heal from it. There's nothing else to do with it. If it's not useful criticism that you can put towards making better art or just improving on your skill set, I think it's so crucial to have safe people to go to confide in whatever pain that you're going through, in this case with criticism. And I think a fellow artist friend, that's the person who will 100% understand what you're going through. That's why I think it's so important to have other artist friends. They just get it, and it's just nice to have that. Also, learning to really feel emotions and pain or whatever, it's so important to be able to process through it and not just bury those emotions. And I think it's definitely the key to being able to move forward and past it. Taking in the first doubt is like picking up the first drink for an alcoholic. Doubting thoughts can be stopped, but it takes vigilance to do it. The author states, "My years in artistic recovery have taught me to just show up." That really hit me, the just showing up for yourself. I actually dealt with this head on last week in week 2 when I was ridden with so much self-doubt that I was like this close to abandoning these videos and doing them, thinking that they're just trash and I should just give up. I'm just really glad that I pushed through. I think part of why I was so close to abandoning this little project of mine with the YouTube videos is I was really judging myself harshly. Like looking back on these videos and rewatching them, thinking that they're not good. It's really hard to push past those emotions. What are you doing? You want to say hi to the camera, Umas? That is Uma, our pepperoni. I got sidetracked there. Really hard to push past it. It's really hard. Like the author says, it takes vigilance to do it. I think what also helped me push through the self-doubt is just being more gentle with myself and less critical and harsh. I've kind of learned to just accept that these videos are probably going to be very imperfect because this is completely new territory for me. I decided that showing up imperfectly is better than not showing up at all. So that's why I'm here right now. I'm showing up and accepting whatever comes out of this video tonight. I'm still gonna keep doing it. We're on to the next topic, which is growth, which is a reoccurring topic in this course. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Recovery is not a straight line. You're going to have setbacks and relapses. When you're going 2 steps forward, 1 step back, you're still moving forward. You just had a little setback, and it's normal and it's totally okay. Having compassion towards yourself, I think, is key here. A creative recovery is a healing process. It's going through therapy. And with any healing process, you should really take things slow and be gentle with yourself. A huge learning experience for me is practicing kindness towards myself. I am just pretty brutal with everything that I do. And I know now that it's, self-sabotage. Artist abuse, that's what the author says a lot, that you're being abusive towards yourself. And I never really thought of it like that, but it is. Throughout the day, check in with yourself. Ask how you are feeling. Listen and respond. Promise yourself a treat or break after completing a difficult task. I love this so much. So throughout this course, after doing something that I've been either avoiding or just struggling to do, I'll tell myself, once you do this thing, film this video, which is always really hard for me, I'll give myself something, a little either pampering, I'll take a bath, or I'll tell myself, after doing this, we can go, play this video game that I've been wanting to play. Just treating yourself with kindness. If you're a Twin Peaks fan, you probably know this one Dale Cooper quote. Every day, once a day, give yourself a present. Don't plan it, don't wait for it, just let it happen. It could be a new shirt in a men's store, a cat nap in your office, or 2 cups of good, hot, black coffee. As a creative being, you will be more productive when coaxed than when bullied. And yeah, it is very, very true. Okay, so on to how my week was overall, reflections on that. So end of last week, I got back from Philly. I was spending time with my best friend there. And when I got back, I felt super inspired. Not even really in an art sense of way. I don't know, I felt this inspiration to just rearrange my house and furniture. I actually just created this book nook over here. I really love it. It's really cozy. And I've been just making it a point to spend time here in this little corner area. I've been reading, which I haven't done in a very long time, so that feels really nice. I am reading a Stephen King novel that I got at a used bookstore in Philly. But yeah, it's just a really cozy spot to curl up in the chair and read and drink a cup of tea. What else? Oh, daylight savings happened. Now it's lighter out, and the weather had gotten really beautiful. Full-blown springtime. And then, so those 2 things, the time change and the weather change, made me realize that I was in a deep depression and didn't really know it. Usually every year I get affected by the SADS, the winter blues, seasonal affective disorder. It always really kind of screws me up every single year, and I don't know why I didn't notice it this year. I started going on hikes with my partner. I just felt so alive, and that's when I realized my seasonal depression was really, really bad. So yeah, all good stuff. Excited for week 4. Thank you for watching my Artist Way journey and coming along for the ride with me. If you are also a struggling artist, just want to let you know that I see you and I get it, and I'm here. Take care.